Alex Eala to fight for singles gold in SAA Games but not against Janice Tien. Filipina tennis star Alex Eala assures herself of her best SAA Games finish as she reaches the final of the women's singles following a straight sets win over a Thai foe. Chonburi, Thailand. Alex Eala will get a crack at her first Southeast Asian Games crown as she reached the final of the women's singles after a 6-1, 6-4 win over Thailand's Thassaporn Naklo on Tuesday, December 16 at the National Tennis Development Center in Nonthaburi. Already guaranteed of the silver, the Filipina tennis star has surpassed her bronze finish in the event in the 2021 Vietnam edition and will look to go all the way in the gold medal match. But the final will not feature the highly anticipated clash between Eala and Indonesia's Janice Tien, the two highest-ranked WTA players at number 53 and number 54, respectively. Tien, who has also enjoyed a stellar 2025 like Eala that saw the Indonesian win her first WTA Tour title in the Chennai Open in October, retired from her semi-final match against Thailand's Maninkaya Sawanki due to a breathing issue. Instead, it will be Eala and world number 240 Sawanki who will duke it out in the final scheduled on Thursday, December 18. Eala, who fought back from a 0-2 start against Naklo, has a chance to win the Philippines' first women's singles gold in SAA Games tennis since Marie-Chris Fernandez-Gens accomplished the feat in 1999. But before her title duel, Eala can advance to the final of another event as she partners with Francis Casey Alcantara in the mixed doubles semi-finals on Wednesday, December 17. Rappler.com. The morning air at the SAA Games Village tasted like salt and rain, the kind that clung to skin and memory. Alex Eala woke before her alarm, the soft hum of the city beyond the curtains sounding like a held breath. On her bedside table lay the small Philippine flag she always traveled with, creased, faithful, a reminder that the court was never just a rectangle of paint and lines. It was a promise. Today was singles final day. Alex sat up, stretching the stiffness from her shoulders. She had imagined this moment in 1,000 different ways, floodlights blazing, the crowd roaring, the last ball skidding off her strings. In most versions, there was a familiar figure across the net, Janice Tien. Rivals by circumstance, friends by hours shared on practice courts and quiet airport benches. Their matches were chess games played at sprint speed, each knowing the other's tells and truths. But this time, it would not be Janice. The bracket had shifted like weather. An injury here, a surprise upset there. Janice had bowed out in the semi-finals, wrist taped and eyes apologetic. They had hugged at the net, Janice's smile brave but brittle. Next time, Janice had said. Always, Alex had answered, meaning it. Now Alex stood alone with the echo of that almost, facing a different opponent, a different story. The gold medal still waited, bright and impartial, but the path felt altered, as if the mountain had changed its face overnight. She laced her shoes with the practiced ritual of grounding herself. Each tug was a breath. Each knot, a choice. The stadium was already filling when Alex stepped onto the court for warm-up. Flags fluttered like living things, red and blue and white stitched into hope. She heard her name roll through the stands, a chant that lifted her spine and tightened her throat all at once. Somewhere in the crowd, her parents sat side by side, hands clasped. Somewhere else, younger players leaned forward, eyes wide, seeing in her a future that could be theirs. Her opponent, tall, powerful, unafraid, was warming up with a confidence that crackled. This was not the finesse and feel chess match Alex shared with Janice. This was thunder. This was force. Alex bounced the ball and listened to its rhythm. The court felt fast. The sun cut clean lines across the baseline. She thought of the academy courts in Spain where she had learned to suffer and to sing through her suffering, of Manila afternoons where the heat taught her patience, of nights when doubt crept in like a tide and she learned to swim anyway. The chair umpire called time. The match began. From the first game, it was clear that this final would demand everything. Alex was pushed back by heavy ground strokes, her defense stretched into art. She slid, retrieved, redirected. The crowd gasped and surged with every rally, the sound like surf against rock. Between points, Alex reminded herself of a simple truth. She didn't need to be anyone else. Not the Alex who battled Janice in tight tiebreaks. Not the Alex imagined by commentators or coaches. Just this Alex here now. She mixed pace, pulled angles from thin air, used her lefty serve like a key turning in a stubborn lock. When her opponent hammered winners, Alex nodded once and moved on. When errors crept in, she breathed them out. The first set slipped away, 6-4, despite her best scrambling. The stadium murmured. Alex walked to her chair, towel over her head, eyes closed. In the quiet beneath the noise, she heard Janice's voice from months ago, teasing after a long practice set. "You love the long way around," Janice had said. Alex smiled now, faint and private. The long way around, and in the second set, Alex changed the story. She stepped inside the baseline, took the ball early, refused to be pushed into retreat. She carved drop shots that kissed the net and died. She trusted her backhand down the line, a shot that felt like a confession every time she struck it. The crowd found its rhythm with her, clapping between points, chanting after games. When Alex broke serve, the noise rose like a blessing. She held on, game by game, until the set was hers, 6-3. One set all. As they walked to their chairs, Alex glanced across the court and caught a flash of understanding in her opponent's eyes. Respect. The good kind. The kind that sharpens you. The deciding set would not be about talent. It would be about will. Fatigue crept in, a familiar companion with sharp elbows. Alex's legs burned. Her lungs worked like bellows. She remembered Janice again, how they had once played a 3-hour match in suffocating heat, neither willing to yield. How, afterward, they had shared water and laughter, talking about anything but tennis until the court lights flickered off. This wasn't against Janice, Alex thought. But it was still against everything she had learned to fear. The games tightened. Break points came and went. At 4-4, Alex faced a triple break point. The crowd held its breath.